What is going on, guys? It is your boy TK200 here, back again after a while. Boys, if you guys saw the Death Stranding video yesterday, you guys are pretty much well aware. I went on vacation for a little bit. When I got home, I got really sick. So apologies on the missed episode last week, unfortunately. We also have another thing here as well. With the combination of me being sick last week, Starks' schoolwork got overloaded this week. So he unfortunately will not be on this episode of Road to Part 2, episode 23. I'm double checking right now. I should have checked this before, but I'm pretty sure it's Road to Part 2, number 23. This is the weekly Last of Us. Road to Part 2, number 24. 24. I was off by one. But this is the weekly podcast that we go over all things Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. And typically this is hosted with myself, TK203, as well as the Starks, of course. But this week, like I said before, he's out. He has a little bit too much school. You know what I'm saying? We're nearing the end of the semester. So that's going to happen here these next few weeks and stuff like that. But with me, I have a friend of the show, a friend of one of the co-hosts on this show, and a friend of the Discord as well. Make sure to join that down below in the description. And I would consider a homie. We have Mr. Robotron. I don't know how do you say your name, sir? Please.
It's Robot Rock, like a Daft Punk song.
Why did I try to say Robotruck like an idiot?
It happens all the time. All the time. It's no problem.
In my head, because I've never said it out loud, right?
Sure.
So in my head, I've always said, "Oh, that's Robo," or like Robotruck. But yeah, it is Robot Rock. I'm an idiot. Wow.
Some people think it's a reference to Transformers, as if I was a robot truck. And yeah, it's a rough life.
Have that branding. I like that.
Yeah.
But
anyways, thanks for having me on here, Kevin.
Absolutely, of course, and you know, just gonna ease into the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
What have you been playing lately? You know, like I just want to know, like, what are your gaming tastes right now? What are you getting into? You know, in terms of gaming right now.
I've been playing a lot of Death Stranding.
And
a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is surprisingly really good.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, specifically on Modern Warfare, right? I know, like, there's been a lot of people discussing, obviously, the maps, and I kind of side with the overall populace. I don't love the maps in this game, but I am getting, like they aren't that big of a deal, but they are, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
When you start to learn the maps more, at least for me, from my standpoint, they really aren't that bad as I felt they were, like, in the first week. But I don't know how you feel about the maps too, like if you like them or not. But
I think there's a lot of, like, garbage in them for sure, like a lot of maybe even poor design.
Absolutely.
That you're kind of getting frustrated frequently.
Yeah.
But it almost, I don't know how to say that that's a good thing or not, because it almost feels like there's some crap to kind of exploit in the game, and I'm having more fun with this Call of Duty than I have in a while.
Right.
Because of it, I think.
Yeah.
Like, the maps are definitely often cheap, but I'm kind of enjoying that aspect of it. I don't really know exactly why, but they got rid of that 3-lane design, right?
Yeah. And, like, that was a big pitch they had, like, when they first rolled out the release of this game and, you know, was giving out info on this game. They said specifically that they wanted to bring back that, like, Modern Warfare map, that Modern Warfare 2 specific map design, where they had PowerPoints and stuff like that, and there were clear places of advantage in the map that a person could hold down and dominate, you know? And when everyone heard that over the summer, I feel like the overall consensus was like, oh, dude, that's great, because, like, whenever they hear something about Modern Warfare 2 is in a current COD, they tend to love it because they love Modern Warfare 2, right? And, like,
yeah, it's a popular game in the franchise for sure.
As do I. I love Modern Warfare 2, but when I heard that they want to bring in maps like Modern Warfare 2 that have power positions in Modern Warfare, like Modern Warfare 2, bring it into Modern Warfare, I didn't think that was, like, the most exciting thing. I was like, wait, guys, like, I don't know if y'all actually want that. Like, guys, like, I'm like, wait, guys, like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And
well, if you remember, I feel like with Modern Warfare 2, like, I probably had my most fun ever playing Call of Duty with that game. But I also remember all the time going, man, this game is the worst.
Oh,
but now looking back, it's like I just have a really fond memory of that game. I don't know.
Modern Warfare 2 for me is nostalgia, but, like, when you go back and play it, right, like, you can see nearly every weapon other than like the F2000, and I'm pretty sure there's like another crap gun in the game, but like every gun shreds.
Yeah.
Every gun shreds. It's a really high time to kill. And obviously, with the one-man army, noob tubes, and stuff like that, danger close, we already know that is plagued the game overall. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Marvel 2, it's fun, but it's if that game came out today, the community would hate it, 100%.
Sure.
100%.
Sure.
Like, it is so unfair at times. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I feel you. But another game that you mentioned, I put up my impressions yesterday as of you audience listening, the Death Stranding impressions that I had. You know what I'm saying? So if you want my full in-depth thoughts on that, watch that video after this. But I am definitely enjoying Death Stranding. To have my thoughts in a very concise sentence, I am enjoying the game. I still want to play it. I still yearn to play it when I'm not playing it, But how do you feel about Death Stranding?
Man, I really loved Death Stranding for my first 25 hours or so. I thought that game was moving, kind of brilliant with all that the social strand system. Paving or finishing off people's roads and bridges was a really nice experience, I found.
Right.
But in the later half of the game, I found the story not driving for me in a way that I found myself honestly very disappointed with it, which is a bit of a shame.
No.
But,
wait, have you beat the game?
I finished it 2 nights ago.
Okay, cool. Okay, so
46 hours.
46 hours. Okay, so
Yeah.
This is what I didn't anticipate, right? So I didn't anticipate this game's length to be similar to Days Gone, right? And I feel like I'm a rarity out here. Like, I beat Days Gone. I feel like I have met very little people that have beaten that game. You know what I'm saying? And
I haven't touched it.
Yeah,
I'd like to.
I don't blame people, because Days Gone is a very long game. Like, it is, honestly, it overstates its welcome. But at the end of the day, I still ended up enjoying the game overall, like all encompassing. But one of the biggest gripes I have with Days Gone is that there were multiple times where, like, hey, this would be a cool place to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like they like have like a really, really cool like end kind of narrative beat that kind of, ties up some things. I'm like, hey, like, this would be a cool place to, just end the game. You know what I'm saying? But they just keeps going and introducing new things and going and not like new things, like new mechanics. Yeah, there are new stuff that you can craft in the game as you progress, but like new like story beats where I'm like, man, like, really? Like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. Okay, all right. Like, it. And I think Death Stranding took me, I think 45 to 50 hours. I think.
Days Gone?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. This game was a lot, but right now I want to say with Death Stranding, I'm around 10 to 15 hours in. I'm near the end of chapter 3. Right.
Oh, cool.
So
chapter 3 I found to be really great.
I mean, so far I'm liking chapter 3. Like, I'm getting a lot of new things. Like, what I think there are two main things that I'm loving about the game. Again, watch my full impressions video, last one before this one. Go ahead, have fun. But my like two biggest points I'm loving about Death Stranding. One is those moments where you're delivering a cargo to another like port city or another location, and the game zooms out and you get some Sony branded music in the game.
Yeah, it's like that the Red Dead moments, right?
That's exactly what I said in my impression video. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, I love those. Oh, I love those moments. I love those.
Yeah,
moments
those
so
are
much.
brilliant for sure.
So good.
That game really nails that sense of isolation in a way and when the way they pair it within the actual like social stuff in there, I really found it to be kind of amazing, really.
Yeah, I love it. Like, this game like doubles down on like a vibe, and the overall like feeling in the world, and they just double down on that, and I love it, right? And the other thing I like, wait, why am I forgetting what I like to top of my head? Oh my god, why am I forgetting? I'm forgetting. Oh, okay. How like the game gives you a task. Hey, deliver this cargo, right? And the road, and the route that you might take or the area that you might explore in a given location may introduce a specific problem. Like, it might be super rocky and like really have rough terrain, or there might be a lot of water that you have to encounter and deal with and manage, or there's a lot of BTs in the area, right? But then once you complete that, the game gives you something that's very useful, that at least when I was going through a pretty tough area, I was like, man, it'd be cool if I had something like this, or it'd be really cool if I could solve like this problem. And the game gives you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it does a good job at rewarding the player as you move on. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. It definitely rewards you for the hours you put in and
100%.
those long walks you take.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Indeed. So,
I guess I have a question, if I may bring up your earlier discussion, though, about, like, say Days Gone,
right.
where you think, it sounds like you enjoyed a lot of that game,
Yeah.
and then maybe at the ending it was kind of petering out.
Yeah, like,
so how would you recommend that game to people then? Because say for me with Death Stranding, I really think I had a brilliant like 24 hours with it, but the last 20 hours with it almost soured me so much that in a way I don't know which one weighs out which,
right?
Like, because now I'm not sure if I exactly wasted my time or not. But I still think the first 24 hours are super valid.
I see.
So like, I guess I'm wondering, what do you think about that? Or like,
right.
Yeah, or like in Days Gone, as an example, do you feel like you wasted some time at the end of that game?
No,
maybe like the first half.
No, I don't feel like I wasted time in that game. It's just like, for me, right? If like one of my favorite parts of Days Gone is handling the hordes and dealing that with equipment that I am able to craft on the later end of the game, and overall like gameplay as a whole of Days Gone. Like to me, I feel like Days Gone's gameplay is solid enough that kept me going, even though there were plenty of points where I'm like, hey, this seems like a good story beat to end on. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like this seems cool. And not that like I was yearning for it to end to a degree, but I felt like they like almost like did like like pulled the wool over me and like kind of juked me out and had me thinking that it was going to be an ending, and then it wasn't, so like that was the main thing. I felt like, man, like that cutscene kind of felt like an ending, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how I felt. But like overall, I feel like the main like grasp and the main like the main recommendation I would give Days Gone is its gameplay. Like I feel like it's very like the gameplay feels satisfying to me in the same way of like Odyssey, where like Assassin's Creed Odyssey's gameplay kept me in that game for.
I thought you were talking about Mario. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Even though, hey, Mario Odyssey, good game,
good game.
Just saying, good game. But then with Days Gone, I hope that the gameplay loop will keep me in, considering that you said that you were soured out the last 20 hours of the game.
But, for Death Stranding?
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's absolutely worth playing still. It was unfortunate. I was a bit disappointed, but I mean, hey, I'd be really curious to hear what you think of it, because I think that game goes places in ways I wasn't really expecting.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I definitely can't wait. But 13 minutes into a Last of Us podcast. It's all good. But of course, this is again Road to Part 2, The Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1, all things Last of Us podcast here on PlayStation Source. And the main topic at hand here is that I want to talk to you. So I assume you love Last of Us. Do you want to just talk about your background with Last of Us, how you feel about the game? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I don't know. Let me know.
I mean, I think The Last of Us is honestly pretty brilliant. I've been following Naughty Dog since really Uncharted came out on PS3, and Uncharted 2 probably made me the games player I am today.
100%.
Yeah, that game was brilliant. And then when The Last of Us came out, that was again like, holy crap, Naughty Dog continues raising the envelope. Even in a way like I wasn't expecting The Last of Us. The way that game plays is just so good.
So good. It's
not just the story, but just the combat encounters really get. I think they used to quote that their inspiration was No Country for Old Men for some of the violence. And they really get that kind of aggression very right.
Yeah.
And hey, that game is great.
I mean,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I've been on the record, and like I still feel like this, where like I feel like this may be like a little bit hyperbolic of me to say, but like I still keep saying it, so I'm just gonna keep saying it. Like I feel like gaming as a whole changed with Last of Us, and in terms of like how games evoke emotion, how games evoke intensity, how how games evoke like the relationships, like the bonds between people and violence as a whole, I feel like was something that had never been done before until Last of Us. You know, like I feel like the seriousness, and not to say that like there were other games in the past that were serious or had like very serious tones. Of course there were. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the like level of quality that Naughty Dog brought to Last of Us in terms of those topics, I think changed gaming forever. You know what I'm saying? Like I 100% feel that. Like I 100% feel like the fact that Last of Us came out in 2013 and we still talk about Last of Us as if it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Overall, like it's that is what I mean. Like how integral and how important Last of Us still is to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Those mechanics and animations and even the visual fidelity of it all add to the game's themes. I feel like every action you take, the aggression. I mean, you can probably see this in some of the gameplay demos for Part 2, but the way they animate some of those faces as well,
oh my God,
before you're taking them out, it really makes you think like, oh man, am I a bad person doing this? Right.
For me with Part 2, what really like blew me away was the E3 2018 gameplay showing, where it's where Ellie right before she goes into that like last room that they fight in, the like shopping mart type thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
where she grabs one of the enemies and uses the enemy as a human shield, right? And then one of the enemies that are shooting at her shoots an arrow and accidentally hits the enemy that Ellie's holding. And Ellie, you can see her animation like react, and like she's like looking at the human shield that she's holding and that he's dead, and then looking at the enemies and then looking at him, and then like throws the body away. Like that, like small detail, I was like, dude, are you joking me? And the way she grabbed the bottle, instead of like having that like very rudimentary like PlayStation 3 era like just grab the air to grab something that's in the world in Last of Us, but to actually see her like tangibly grab the handle of the bottle and pick it up and throw it, rather than just do like a standard animation. To me, I was like, dude, Part 2 is gonna be insane.
Naughty Dog has always been top of the game in terms of animation. I think they pushed the industry forward for sure.
100%.
I mean, I think Uncharted Drake's Fortune was the first game that did the live action mocap stuff, right?
Yeah, I believe
that's everywhere now.
I know that, and like I know like a big thing about the first Uncharted was the like a lot of people were like blown away back in the day with how when you went into the water.
Oh my God! Yeah,
like,
the jeans got soaked.
Yeah.
So good.
Like your jeans got darker and soaked up. Yeah, a lot of people.
And then Uncharted 2 had snow tech. 3 had the sand tech. They're always pushing something.
So good. But the main thing I want to ask you about. So you have played through Last of Us, but you did not jump in the factions during the original.
I did not. And I don't know why I never did. I actually loved the Uncharted 2 multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I didn't care for the Uncharted 3 multiplayer so much is why I never got into the Last of Us one. I don't know.
I see.
I never really checked it out. I never even tried it, but it seems like something I probably would have loved. So I don't know. I'm probably stupid for not checking it out because it's just that gameplay on a multiplayer scale, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, you can play it. I mean, on PS4. I mean,
yeah, I should check that out.
You still got time. I mean, I love factions. Like again on the show, me and Starks have talked endlessly about factions, and there's been
Sorry for your loss.
Oh my God, I don't want to. Whew, man, that was a rough day, honestly. That was a rough day.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Oh man, that was rough. Like
seeing those updates come in real time, like you were like, wait, what?
No, literally, me and Starks were about to record. We record usually on Thursday mornings. You know what I'm saying? Get up bright and early, have my coffee, come in the room. I see the Discord chat. Starks is linking me something that looks like a fake. I'm like, what? What are you linking me? And it was real. I could not. I sat there for 2 minutes. I could not believe it. I was like, nah, this is fake. There is no way. But yeah, of course we are talking about how Last of Us Part 2 will not feature a factions mode in the vanilla core Last of Us Part 2 experience, but they have gone on the record, and this is gonna be the main topic of this episode, is that they are developing some sort of online experience for Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? And the way they're talking about it, it is kind of vague, like they keep stressing that it's not a part of Last of Us Part 2, but it's still a part of Last of Us, you know? Like
Yeah.
I think what they mean is that, you know, this is not going to be like an update to Part 2. Like this is going to be its own separate standalone that may use the same, you know, engine and like platform that Last of Us Part 2 is running on, to a similar vein that we saw with like Lost Legacy. How like Lost Legacy used the Uncharted 4, I feel like, framework and like, you know, design, you know,
Totally.
and it's not a part of Uncharted 4, but it shares a similar, you know, game engine. If that makes sense. I think
No,
that's what they mean, you know.
Yeah.
And I think
I mean, do
Hey,
you okay, I'm sorry, you first.
no. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, do you think whatever they're doing, this bigger plan for the multiplayer of The Last of Us Part 2, do you think that hits relatively soon after the game comes out, or is probably deeper in the future than that? Because I know some people think, maybe it'll be ready for PS5 launch or something like that. But I feel like from the report so far, it seems like it's further away than anything next year.
I'm
I could be
betting-
wrong though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm betting on a PS5 launch with this mode,
Mhm.
you know, or like whatever this is. You know what I'm saying? Like I think or I mean, I can see it being pushed into like February 2021. That would be at that point then. I could see that, but I could see them aiming for like a fall 2020 PS5 launch. I could see them, you know, continuing to write out info they'll release about Last of Us Part 2 up until May when the game launches, and then maybe shortly, you know, in the summertime or maybe like in August, September, they start talking about this mode and say, hey, with all the PS5 talk, yes, Naughty Dog will be present as a launch for PS5 with this mode, you know, with this faction standalone thing that we think it is, you know, but at the end of the day, like, we don't even know what exactly it is, you know, like, we're all just assuming that it'll be factions, but
Well, I guess my question is, from the read I got from some of the that, what was it called, the Days of Outbreak event that they had in September?
oh, Outbreak Day?
The Outbreak Day?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They it sounded like almost they were maybe a bit taken aback with some of the response about factions being cut. That I
agree.
almost felt like they were saying some stuff and then quickly scrapping together a team to get something going soon, but not exactly that it was already in the works.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I definitely feel like they didn't anticipate how much people would be vocal about them removing factions, which again, like, we can't see the population of the online servers of factions. I don't know that data, you know, but what I can tell you is that you can log in right now, right? And it is 2019, right? It's been out for 6 years.
6-year-old game. Yeah.
A 6-year-old game, a 6-year-old multiplayer mode at that. You can find a match in under 10 seconds.
That's pretty crazy.
I
I should
promise
check that
you.
out.
I promise you, you can go right now. You will not wait. No, I have never waited longer than 10 seconds to find a match. 100%. You know, and granted, one could say, hey, there's only 3 main core modes in faction, so okay, you know, the overall player base isn't really split up that much, but nonetheless, still, to prove his point, it's a 6-year-old multiplayer game that you can get in under 10 seconds. You know, like, the factions is still popular, like 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of, and I'll say that it's still the best first party multiplayer experience that we've had since then. You know, like,
From Sony?
Yeah.
Or like in general, all first parties?
Well, I mean, like, specifically from first party Sony and PlayStation.
Sure. Okay.
You know, like, I don't know of another multiplayer.
There was
first party.
Killzone Shadowfall, right? Was that the other one they did this generation?
Yeah. There was Shadowfall had multiplayer, and Uncharted 4 had multiplayer as well.
Sure.
Which I played Uncharted 4. I liked Uncharted 4 multiplayer. I didn't play a ton. I played for maybe like 3 months, you know, but I did like it. I did like it for what it was. I definitely did enjoy it. But I'll still stand by that. Like, I feel like they haven't made a better multiplayer you know, since then, you know.
They haven't really exactly tried too often though, have they? Like
they haven't, and
this generation they've definitely just been pushing a lot of single player games, which I like those. But I think you can see inklings starting at Sony where they're probably going to want to push more and more live service games.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like that's been some. Wait, is Death Stranding a multiplayer game?
I would consider it. It doesn't require PS Plus apparently, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, if anyone hasn't played Death Stranding, make sure you play the game online at all times. That's the way to play it.
100%. I can't even imagine playing that game offline, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god, Jesus Christ. But I mean, yeah, like I know I've been pretty vocal on the channel about how like I feel that PlayStation this generation really did drop the ball in terms of multiplayer experiences from first party specifically. You know, I know third party we saw the rise of the battle royale genre this gen and
Destinies and stuff like that.
Destiny as well. Yep, exactly that as well. That like persistent online multiplayer part of the industry, which I think is good. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But there like I still yearn for like that intimate like 6v6, you know, traditional multiplayer modes. You know what I'm saying? That like isn't this big battle royale or this, you know, big
Dude, I think that's why Call of Duty has been so refreshing for me personally.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's been a while since I played I honestly since Titanfall 2, it's been a while since I played just a simple 6v6 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And hey, so good.
I feel like the like biggest quote unquote traditional multiplayer game that we have right now is probably like Rainbow Six. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people play that. I actually have never got into it, but that game is huge.
Oh, but so big, dude. So
Yeah.
big. And that's
Surprised.
yeah. Rainbow Six is huge. Yeah, and I've played it a few times. I bought it. I didn't really get into it that much, but
It seems a bit more tactical than I was exactly wanting from a. I guess I kind of look for something a little more mindless for my
right. I feel you.
multiplayer games, which is
I feel you. But what I guess I want to mainly ask you, right, is with you, of course, playing Last of Us, the
Sure.
main story mode, and I assume Left Behind.
oh yeah, hell yeah,
I
like
think?
of course.
So, fun fact, I have not played Left Behind.
What?
Not yet.
What are you waiting for?
I know what happens. I'm waiting for to do it for an episode coming up soon. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Of but I feel like I will get into it in December. I feel like
Naughty
that is-
Dog changed the DLC game when that came out. I was like, whoa,
Yeah, I know a lot of people love it and like
one of the
man,
best expansions.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Oof, I can't wait. That will be definitely a future episode. You know what I'm saying? But so you have played that as well, right? But
Yep.
I guess what so the night. So I guess the main kind of path in this episode is gonna be that throughout the past few months, right, and even before they announced that Factions was canceled for part 2, which they did confirm. They did say publicly at E3 2018 that, hey, don't worry, guys. No, what was the unveiling of part 2? I forgot if it was PSX 2016 when they first unveiled part 2 to be real, or the 2018 gameplay showing. But at one of those two, I know 100%. You can look it up. That they said, hey, Factions will be returning for part 2. Don't worry, y'all.
Oh, what?
It's good.
So they actually announced it?
100%. Yup.
Oh, I had no idea. That's crazy.
It was not. It was not on stage. It was in an offhand interview by one of the outlets. I forgot which one, but they 100% said like that's why we were all like, "What are you talking about? It's canceled." Because like they literally said verbatim, Naughty Dog employees, guys, Factions is returning for Last of Us Part 2, right? And then throughout the few months, we see on the Naughty Dog Jobs handle on Twitter that they are seeking online programmers, and they're looking for network employees that are good with establishing network code for matchmaking and stuff like that, and ranking and all that. And like they were definitely vocal about hiring people for online components for part 2, right? So we were like, okay, cool, sounds good. Like, looks like Factions is definitely getting development care and love and care with that mode and stuff like that. So things were looking good. Then we got the announcement, of course, that Factions was removed from part 2, right? And then I feel like, especially after they released that screenshot of their official statement addressing Factions being removed, and where they said that, hey, we will have a separate multiplayer mode involving Factions in the future. It just will not be in the Last of Us Part 2 vanilla core game, right? Ever since they said that, I feel like they've been tweeting a lot more job listings and it feels like they've been definitely ramping up this online.
I didn't seen that.
Yeah, like it just I mean, I don't know if like that's 100% fact, but that's what it feels like. Or I don't know if it feels like that because I'm looking more into that handle in a specific and like seeing how often they're posting, and maybe they've always posted this frequently. But you know, we had an employee this week at Naughty Dog, again courtesy of Push Square. The article is in the description, you can look at there for yourself. But we had a Naughty Dog employee named, I'm gonna butcher his last name so bad, but Vinit Agarwal. Agarwal. We're gonna go with that. Hopefully that's right. But he says, join us. We've got big ambitions and need your help to make it a reality. And then he tweeted to the Naughty Dog jobs. And so they have said that verbiage a lot too. That like they are definitely saying multiple times that like this separate factions mode for Last of Us is going to be really ambitious, really big, etc. You know what I'm saying? So I guess from someone that, you know, has played the core Last of Us and Left Behind DLC, what would you want in a multiplayer Last of Us? You know what I'm saying? Like with like someone that has no you know, predetermined bias or predetermined you know, outlook on factions right now. What would you personally want to see with Last of Us Part 2 in multiplayer?
And all honesty, I think I just want something that is that Last of Us gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But I think what's really important for me with multiplayer games too, and this might sound like it's kind of not important, but I think it is a really clean UI, if this makes sense. Like,
Okay.
let's say in Modern Warfare, it is just so easy to launch that game and simply see exactly what you're progressing towards and stuff like that.
Right.
That you just get into a game and party up really fast. And I think when they say stuff like they have ambitious plans for this game, I get almost worried in the sense that, oh, are they going to try and make a hub Destiny kind of thing, which they probably aren't. But say Call of Duty World War II, do you remember that game had that weird hub area?
Yeah, I fucking hate that thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I this sounds silly, but I just want really clean menus and progression systems.
Oh no.
That's all.
So then okay, so definitely I feel like that's already in place with factions like
Right.
Oh my god, I can't tell you like how clean The Last of Us
Is it clean?
Oh my god, so clean.
Naughty Dog has always had some of the best UI in the business too.
It's so like it's so it's so minimal. It doesn't give you too much info. You know, it's like, hey, here is your crossbar that kind of looks like a D-pad, and you can equip different things from there. You just press the touch bar to go into the crafting menu, where you go into that animation where you take off your backpack and you can craft you know, a med kit or a bomb, etc., a smoke bomb, a shiv, whatever you want to do. It's you like never leave the gameplay in Last of Us Factions, you know, which I love, right? And with progression, I do want to see progression change a little bit, because with Factions currently, the progression is more of like, it shows you how experienced you are in the game in terms of time, and not necessarily like your skill or your merit. And I believe it caps off at like 999, you know, so like like there's a ceiling to the ranking, and I hope that they do something a little bit different, because I don't really love how they do ranking in Factions, which I think and like I'd be really like intrigued to see how you feel about how they do ranking in that game, because like,
honestly, I think some of that was where I got intimidated and kind of never checked it out, because I remember looking at the trophy list for The Last of Us, and the way they divided the factions, there was like weird rankings about leveling up to 13 or whatever in this specific one.
Yeah,
that made it sound less simple than just, you know, leveling up one. I can't really remember, but I might be overblowing it. Dude, what was that like? Was it just
okay, so essentially so how I put this, so you play like a certain you rank within a certain time period, right? And each match you play is 1 day, and you have to play through, I believe, 2 weeks, right? And then every, I think, 2 weeks, you rank up a level.
Okay, this is
If
weird.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's really like it doesn't. It's really weird. It's really weird. Like I really hate it. You know, I don't like.
So
it.
yeah, I
It's
guess
super
I would
weird.
probably prefer something a little bit easier and more clean, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah, 'cause
definitely.
I think Call of Duty just gets my dopamines going. Like, yeah, new level, rank up, guitar noise. Whew.
Yeah, no, I mean, COD. I mean, hey, this is how much XP you need for the next level, and certain things that you do in a given match will give you XP, and then once you achieve that number of XP, you get to the next level. It's
It
that
just
simple.
hits.
Yeah, it's that simple. You know.
Formula works.
Yeah, it just that. But like with this, it's like because the factions mode is definitely tied into like the lore of Last of Us, and it's like meant to be in universe in Last of Us, if that makes sense. So like how I explain this like very concisely. So you
Is it canon in the story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like you are a member of like a clan in the world that is surviving, and the more so in a given match, you get supplies off of people that you kill or boxes that you find in the match, and then dependent and like the more supplies you get, the more people you can support in your clan. So more people come to you if you do well in games. Vice versa, if you do bad, people start dying off in your clan because you're not getting enough supplies because you're not doing that well in a given game. You know what I'm saying? So like it's all about balancing all those things, and dependent on how well you do, that's how you quickly rank up or slowly rank up. You know what I'm saying? It's just But I just don't like how it's done with like every 2 weeks you rank up. It's weird. It's really, and like it's not 2 weeks in real time. It's like 14 matches. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so do you have to? Is there any way you can alleviate that by just waiting a few days, or do you have to play another 14 matches to get that rank level?
So like when I say you rank up every 2 weeks, it's not 2 weeks in real world time. It's 2 weeks because each match is 1 day. So really, it's like every 14 matches, quote unquote, every 2 weeks.
So are you
up.
exactly leveling up based on skill then, or just based on time?
It's more time, but it's
Huh,
weird.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a weird way. I've played a lot, and I can't even explain to you the like ranking of it. Like it's just I try not to pay attention to that. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like at least to me. So I do hope that like they have a better way in this factions with Last of Us Part 2 in this like standalone game that they are developing. Like I hope it's a little bit more better and more and just something that's a little bit more easy to digest. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for you in regards to The Last of Us and violence with the multiplayer.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
So like The Last of Us, we talked about this briefly before, but it is this violent world, and I think all the animations and combat and all that stuff is in service of the story and fleshing out that world, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to multiplayer, do you still want that same aggression in there in those loops you keep playing? You know, just you keep playing the match with the same aggression.
Yes.
Or do you feel like that's less in service of the story? If it's just this kind of very video game thing.
Right.
Like, is that acceptable to be there, you think? Or should it be something else? Or maybe more goofy or cartoon? I don't know. It's a bit of a long-winded question, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm very okay with the multiplayer with the violence in The Last of Us' single player. Both the multiplayer, I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'd be okay playing, hundreds of hours of that there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
I feel you. I mean, I think like a potential problem that we could have necessarily if the multiplayer is like as aggressive and as brutal as the main story is that it could in a way like lower like a certain person's perspective on the story and how brutal it was. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, it could maybe lesser the impact.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was actually reading this article today about apparently like in Star Wars, lightsabers don't cut limbs regularly because Lucasfilm just wants to save that for cool moments in specific story.
Right.
Like, no, you can't cut a limb whenever it has to be when like Darth Vader cuts Luke's hand off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
So I feel like the
that makes
impact of
sense.
the aggression with the multiplayer in Last of Us Part 2 could impact
Right, right.
single
Yeah,
player, lessen the effect. Yeah.
yeah. And like with the uh, original factions mode, like there were like finishers that you can do. Like you can like brutally like stomp someone's skull in, like dead ass. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you could do horrendous like you can, shiv someone. You can hit someone with a bat with nails in the end of it. Like you can do some heinous things in factions mode currently, right? And I just feel like the way that was implemented in factions, because they were so deliberate on having like the ranking system and you having a clan and you collecting supplies in a match for your clan, and having it be like in like double down on the lore of Last of Us and not making it like how do I explain this, like not making it a separate game mode but an extension to the Last of Us story, and showing a different angle and different perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From not Joel and Ellie and everyone else in the story, but being about people that are in their world. I feel like for that point it made sense that they would be brutal, because Joel and Ellie were brutal as hell in the story and they had to be.
Yeah,
And
it's a
that's
product
just,
of the world, right? It makes
yeah,
sense that these multiplayer matches would be that brutal,
absolutely.
but also it doesn't really make sense for multiplayer matches to be happening exactly.
I mean, fair. Yeah, fair. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, like in factions, like they like try to, they like use audio lines from your teammates to try and like explain why this specific thing is happening, and it's
Sure.
that usually like they're how do I explain this, like you're like out scavenging supplies in a given area, and there's another clan that wants the supplies in the area as well, so that's how combat engages.
Mhm.
That's how they try to explain why this is happening, but
Yeah.
what also takes it out of it is that like there's no clickers in the modes, like there's no infected, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, they didn't do a horde mode. I guess that really wouldn't fit.
That'd be
That'd
dope.
probably be bad.
That'd be fun. Like, I mean, like, let's say like
Would you like to
you'll-
see it? Yeah.
I think I would, like, if
Yeah.
just me, like, off the top of my head, you're scavenging supplies for your clan, you get holed up in this warehouse or like whatever area, and you have to fight off infected that somehow caught your scent, or somehow
Oh,
something like
like
that.
a stealth horde mode almost.
Well,
Like,
I'm
that'd
thinking
be
like
cool. I don't know.
you're in a warehouse, whatever, getting
Sure.
supplies. You don't realize there's a ton of infected in this warehouse, and then that's how like the waves of it starts. I don't know, something like that. Like, I think that could be cool.
Honestly, I would. I love any co-op kind of stuff like that.
Hundred
To
percent,
where I'd be cool with that.
100%. Yeah, and like I know.
the aggression against these zombie things makes a lot more sense to me than the humans, I guess, would for a mode like this.
Right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess to like answer your question, I mean, like I feel like the way they deliberately try to explain that, hey, these multiplayer matches are happening in the Last of Us universe that we saw in the story, and because the story was so brutal and violence, that's what the president is set. It is set in this world,
Sure.
that you have to be this brutal and this aggressive in this world. So like that's why in factions to me it made sense. But I definitely feel you on that. Like, it could detract from the story experience. Like, at like it could take away from how brutal the story was, and it could diminish the impact of it. 100%. Yeah, I totally feel on that. But I feel like they would lean more towards the, hey, this is the world. This is how people act in this apocalyptic world. But
And ultimately, it's Naughty Dog, and they deserve trust when it comes to story. I feel like so. I might just be blowing out of proportions, but I guess it is kind of interesting to think about. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So
Uh,
you would want to see like some sort of horde mode in like this standalone factions mode, if I'm getting at some sort of like
I could go
co-op.
for it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, because co-op wasn't in factions.
No, they did co-op in Uncharted 2, and I can't remember if Uncharted 3 had it.
I don't recall.
Yeah, those modes weren't really great, at least in Uncharted 2. But
Yeah,
yeah, I would like to see it.
I think
I miss co-op.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they could definitely do something co-op in factions to make it make sense. 100%. Like I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
remember like people used to think like before Last of Us came out, I was like, oh yeah, it's a co-op game with Ellie and Joel. Like no,
Mm, yeah, no. Like
definitely not.
especially with the info that we got from part 2 with how in Tommy's what do you call it? Like in if you're in Tommy's like group, I guess I should say, or like small town or small city, they go on like scavenging runs where there's a small group of them and they go out and they I think they have to like fill out logs and stuff like that. I think they're logging like if how many affected they see in a given area, I believe, or something like that. Like it's something in the trailer where we see Ellie and Dina go out and they do their scavenging patrol thing, you know. So like maybe that could fit into like some sort of like cooperative type deal in factions for part 2, you know, like just maybe they're already planting seeds in the world, like okay, like this is how you know people behave at this current point. That makes sense.
Like an expanded, yeah, sure. Like hey, here's a vignette from the story, but we've expanded it to be this really big horde mode experience that you can replay whenever online. That kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, something like that, you know. But
yeah.
I know like a lot of people whenever like they've heard, you know, any employee like with this tweet saying you know, they have big ambitions and it's supposed to be this really robust, really in-depth mode, like a lot of people instantly think like battle royale, you know.
Oh, sure.
And we have talked about a hypothetical Last of Us Part 2 battle royale factions mode you know, in this series actually. Like we have discussed that, you know. But I want to know like what you I always like to ask people, you know, how would you feel about a battle royale-esque type of experience in factions, or in like The Last of Us
honestly,
World, you know?
I think I could love it in The Last of Us if it was done right.
Mhm.
Because you know, I haven't been the biggest battle royale person. I actually got super into PUBG years ago. Well, not years, but like when that came out, I thought that game was amazing.
Yeah.
But all the other battle royale experiences I haven't been able to get into, and I think what it is PUBG felt more like a horror game to me than it did this online fun whatever thing. And I feel like if you got a horror universe or something like The Last of Us to do it, they could do it in a way that I think would maybe get me some of that PUBG tension back that I don't get from Fortnite.
Was it like the aspect of like of it being a little bit more survival-esque in a way? Like was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was that, and like and honestly, some of the sound design, I think PUBG sounds scary to me.
Interesting.
Like and I think that's the only way battle royale really got my blood pumping was when I almost had fear of getting shot.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
and of course, Last of Us has that. I would say, like,
sure, definitely.
like when you turn on the power in the
Yeah.
in the basement and you alert every infected in the building, you know, of your presence.
Oh my god, yeah, that part.
That was so intense. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah,
Jesus. Yeah. So I could definitely see them like
No, yeah.
yeah. And like I know like you know Battle Royale has kind of like a sour taste in like a lot of people's minds, and like I totally get why that might be it. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally get why that is the case for some people. For me,
Yeah.
I like Fortnite fine. You know, I play it from time to time. I enjoy it. It is what it is. I love Apex Legends. I love Apex Legends.
Really, you do?
Oh my god, I love Apex
I
Legends.
haven't been able to get into it. I think I like solo play this a lot, so I think I'm just missing that. But I love Titanfall. I just can't get into Apex. I don't know why.
Oh, I love Apex.
Alright,
I
alright.
love Apex. Yeah, but
Okay.
PUBG, I played approximately like 3 matches on PS4. Didn't love it.
I heard that version wasn't good, but
yeah.
I understand. They
yeah.
also changed that game a bit over the years. Like I think I'm kind of nostalgic for the first 3 months of PUBG,
Mhm.
and then maybe they kind of ruined it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I played.
You have to believe me, that game was good at one point, please.
No, 100%. I totally believe you. And like, it was not until after I purchased the PS4 version, and I heard from other people
Sure.
that you know were very much used to used to PUBG on like a PC. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
PS4 version not really you know reflective of like a traditional PUBG experience. You know, not like the best. place to play PUBG. And I'm sure it's improved over the years. I have
Right.
to assume it's improved. You know what I'm saying? But
I would hope so.
definitely wasn't my cup of tea, back in the day. But I mean,
May I bring something up a little bit wider in the sense of this Last of Us thing?
absolutely.
All right, you just mentioned PC. I'm
did.
pretty sure this Last of Us factions thing is going to come to PC.
Ooh,
That's what I think is going to happen. Because like
wait,
they're making that Predator game, right?
they are.
And I think Sean Layden, before he left, was talking about, yeah, you're going to see more and more of our experiences that make sense on PC. And crossplay just happened. Sony finally dropped the gate. I'm thinking, yeah, this is a way for them to get that Last of Us multiplayer on PC, get that install base going, and then that works as a gateway to get people to buy PS5s and PS4s for Last of Us 2 single player. That's what I'm thinking.
Oof. And to even, I guess, tangentially, kind of prove your point necessarily, and not, obviously, there's a lot of other factors as to why this game got on the PC, but I think it was pretty surprising when Death Stranding,
Dude, yeah.
and like, I know they low-key said it when they first unveiled
They
this
did.
game. I understand that. But like, I just thought it was pretty incredible that with Sony letting Kojima use the Decima engine, a in-company made proprietary game engine developed by oh my god, why am I forgetting names right now? Horizon Zero Dawn. Guerrilla
it was
Games.
Guerrilla, yeah.
Yeah, Guerrilla Games, right? Like, and with them even deploying 70 employees to help finish off Death Stranding, and I heard even Insomniac Games helped with Death Stranding to some degree, like for them to not only let Kojima use a proprietary engine, deploy multiple employees from 2 first-party studios, and for that game to still make it to PC. I feel like that would not.
Crazy.
I feel like that would not have happened if it was like early PS4 days.
No, I'm totally with you. Like, I mean, I remember that announcement. It said, "Oh yeah, it's coming to PC and PS4." Like what, in 2015? That's when they said.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I completely forgot about that, honestly. Like
I honestly, I didn't really forget, but by the way that game was getting marketed and the fact they went Decima, I was like, okay, there's no way it can come to PC because there's so much work involved when it comes to porting an engine to PC.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. Or to a new platform.
100%.
That I have to imagine, like, it just can't be worth it because, like, unless they're gonna make a bad port, which I doubt, but like. They have to have actual Guerrilla Games people working on making that engine happen on PC, I think, which is kind of crazy.
It is, yeah. I mean, and like my only like inclination is that it just has to point to a change of a change of like feeling in terms of putting PlayStation games on the PC. Again, Death Stranding I know is not a first party PlayStation game. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But
well, I think Sony did mostly fund it though, unless maybe like I don't know where the budget was on Monster Energy. Maybe they had the majority of the budget.
Yeah.
But like Sony, I think foot the bill for the most part. I think.
I mean, I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and plus, there's that weird. Oh my god, I talked about this in my impressions, but I kind of hate the Monster Energy thing, and I also.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Really, it just
Yeah,
takes me out of it, dude. It takes me out of the game. I'm like, dude, I don't.
It's stupid, but
fucking weird.
I mean, yeah, I totally understand it. It's, I think the Kojima games always has dumb stuff like that in it though, to where maybe I'm just desensitized towards it.
Really? Okay.
But
okay. I see.
Those are some of the prettiest looking monster cans I've ever seen. I'm not even a monster drinker, but I don't know. I just was dumb enough that I appreciated it.
Yeah, that and then like the weird, like the very very jarring AMC advertisement on the shower. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, wait, and it like even like name drops Norman Reedus himself in it.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't see that moment in the game, but I heard about it. It sounds really funny. Like you can get on a bike, and he'll say, "Wow, this seems like a great bike that Norman Reedus would ride on the show The Ride on the AMC channel."
No,
I heard that happens.
That's not real. There's
I
no
heard
fucking
that's
way.
real.
There's no fucking way. Are you?
I heard
are
that's
you
totally
serious?
real. I'm not joking.
Oh my god! If I hear that shit in Death Stranding, bro, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to clip that out. I have to clip that. That's insane.
Honestly,
Oh my
I think
God.
when Kojima's at his best, he's playing around with serious and dumb in a way I appreciate. And I think this game ended up leaning a bit more serious than I think he was able to do. and maybe that's where some of my disappointment comes. But those moments where it is again silly Metal Gear goofiness is stuff I appreciate.
Yeah, and then maybe also maybe like a lot of that is because I have, you know, like, you might shoot me for this. I don't know.
No,
But-
it's all right. I understand. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I've never played a Metal Gear game. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it
saying?
happens.
Yeah.
If you got
Yeah.
if you got Metal Gear Solid 5 on like PS Plus, I think that game is still fantastic.
I think I have
So,
it. I think I have it. I'm
Worth
just like,
playing, man.
Is it? Yeah. Maybe. Maybe someday. I don't know. Or I mean, we also have rumors that, you know, that Blue Point might be
Oh, please.
remaking Metal
I hope so.
Metal Gear, which that could be interesting. You know,
They should remake Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Or remaster it. I don't know.
remake them all. Fuck it. But
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean,
What are we talking about? I mean, dude, that game has pee and poop grenades.
it does. It does.
Like, I don't know.
It does. It does indeed. That's fucking Stranding. But
Yeah. sorry.
I cannot wait for Factions
Sure.
because I mean, a lot of it is because the fact that they made, like, on paper, right? It seems like such a simplistic, like, one of like the side modes that like you would get in like a mainly single player game, because Factions came out, I feel like, in that era of gaming where, like, well, I feel like maybe towards the end of that era of gaming, like, I feel like that was more like 2009 to like 2012 type era of gaming where
The Force multiplayer stuff?
yeah, where like multiplayer
Totally.
was like the craze, and like if you had to have a multiplayer mode in your game, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like Alexis was kind of in that window, and that's what I feel like it was painted out to be when it first came out, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I mean, if you remember, like, when Uncharted 2, they announced that they were going to do multiplayer, people were, like, fuming. They were like, why would you do that to this beautiful single-player experience you have been so good at making? But, and now it's kind of funny to see the tables flipped, right? I think Naughty Dog just, proved that they were great at making multiplayer experiences.
I feel like they don't really understand, like, how they accidentally made like a near perfect multiplayer. Like, I
With
feel like
Factions?
yeah, like
Sure.
I feel like they like didn't comprehend like how good it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, maybe they knew, but I feel like, especially like with them like thinking that it wasn't gonna cause a massive uproar when they canceled, Factions for part 2. Like, I feel like that was somewhat telling of like how like they maybe didn't realize how much people love Factions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, it's weird, for sure. I gotta check it out. It sounds like it's really good.
Oh my god, so good. But I'm personally excited for it. I can't wait for it. I hope that they live up to the big ambitions that they are talking about, and it's pretty safe to say that I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, it's we're talking about Naughty Dog, right? And like maybe I feel like the implications of like these big ambitions were probably seen a little bit with Lost Legacy. Did you play Lost Legacy?
I did.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, so like those like open areas, what I'm saying?
Yes, those
That were-
hub-like areas, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe that has something to do with this, or maybe
With this
that
ambition?
was- yeah.
Well, see, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know what ambitious means, really. It could mean, like, I don't know, more of a games as a service Destiny kind of thing, I
Right.
feel like.
Right.
But I'm hoping it isn't, because I find myself gravitating more towards the experiences that are, really easy to get into, really easy to get out of, with
Right.
simple progression.
Mm.
But who knows? Naughty Dog has proven to be one of the greatest developers, so maybe they take on a new thing and it knocks it out of the park. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
No?
you. But I don't know. I guess we will see when the whole thing gets unveiled. But to that tone, Mr. Robot, why
Sure.
why
Or
can't I read
Omar, you can call me that if you'd like.
Yeah, Omar, Robot Rock.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on the PlayStation Source Discord. I'm there.
Absolutely. Join
kind
it,
of it.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I like our Discord.
Our Discord's great.
I like it.
I think,
there's cool,
we can
really
have
cool
good
people in there.
conversation about a lot of deeper conversations about the way the industry works. I find.
Yeah, like I remember recently, like we had a whole like not like debate, but like discussion on like what is first party, what is third party, what is
Yeah,
second
sure.
party, and like how complicated it can get,
Yeah.
you know, and like what
You'll
other
have,
people interpret.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You'll have Christian posting NPD numbers, and we'll talk about sales.
We'll like make bets in there on Metacritic.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's cool. It's a good stuff. I think
It's good
Starks
stuff.
won the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order one, right?
He did. But
84.
you know, Metacritic scores are weird for maybe a week. Who knows where it's gonna
Fair
come
point.
out on?
Fair
But
point.
for right now, congratulations to Starks.
Congratulations, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
This motherfucker. But
And I think Owen was the closest to the Death Stranding one with this score of 89.
I was way off, dude.
So,
I think
yeah, what did you say? 94?
I think it was 91 or 92. I think could have been 94.
Okay, I said 90. So
I forgot what I said, but I know it was definitely low 90s. But oh well, I lost a bet. I'll get him next
Sorry.
time. You know what I'm saying? But of course, this was Road to Part 2, the weekly Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 podcast. You can find this here on youtube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as if you go down in the description, you can find an Anchor link where you can see our other links to other podcast services if you want to listen to us in audio format. That being, of course, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and Spotify. All you gotta do is go to that Anchor link down below, or you can search on your given major podcast platform. PlayStation Source podcast feed. You can find us there, as well as our Cross Circle podcast that goes up weekly as well on Tuesdays. And if you like the video, make sure to like the video. Also, say subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Down below, description. Follow our Twitter, our Discord, all that good stuff. Make sure to follow us on there. Thank you for watching, and as always, you don't know.
I don't know it. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You're okay.
All right, thanks for having me though. Let me just say that.
Absolutely, but you're supposed to say greatness awaits after I say that. Okay, are you ready?
Greatness awaits.
Okay, ready. And
Okay.
thank you for watching, and as always,
Greatness awaits.
bow, boom, beautiful.